I just don't personally have the capacity to be succinct. Hello and welcome. Today is the first day of my drafting vlog. I finally did it. I started drafting and it feels pretty incredible. But I'll talk just a little bit before we get into the vlog about kind of how I feel about it going into it. It's August 3rd today. I don't know if I'm ready, but it's happening anyway. So, okay, the short of it is that I am still in the brainstorming phase, like bigly in the brainstorming phase. I have a lot of things I need to work out. Not everything's finished. There are problems with the main conflict. There are problems with the climax. There are problems with the mystery. But I've spent so long. I spent all of June and all of July really every single day workshopping it, putting my all into it. I really love brainstorming right now, and I never thought I would say that because it's been so hard for me to get into the mindset of it, but I think I finally figured out deep work. Every single morning I'll get a light bulb about my book, and I'm really loving that stage because I'm just figuring out how to really utilize it to my best advantage, and it makes me sad to kind of have to shut that door just a little bit because drafting is just a different muscle. And for me, it's always been difficult to kind of keep two modes going at the same time, but I'm going to try because I need to keep brainstorming, but I also need to start drafting. It's time I have to start in order to start writing a new book by NaNoWriMo, which is a big goal of mine. And I decided August 1st is my deadline. And one of the consolations that I realized kind of around that last week of July was that I don't have to stop brainstorming when I start drafting. I can actually just start drafting and keep brainstorming. And by the time I get to the real big problem areas, I'll probably have figured them out by then because I'll have a month or two to get there. So that gave me a little bit of hope of maybe this is not going to be a dumpster fire if I start before I feel completely ready. For me, I don't think I would ever feel completely ready. I think that when I would feel completely ready is if I had 100,000 word outline, which is then a book. And so I just need to start it, and I can always revise it, and I will have to revise it. So I know that that's coming and that this isn't going to be perfect. And I need to kind of let go of that idea of, well, I spent so long on it, so it better be really good before I start to write it. Basically, at this point, it just needs to get written. It's time to start. So I did. On August 1st, I brainstormed in the morning and then got thrown off track and didn't start drafting until 8 p.m. With 10 p.m. being my bedtime, I started writing at 8 p.m. and I was having that feeling of oh no, am I going to cut myself too little time where I'm just going to give up and say, I'm not going to do anything because I don't have enough time to do all of it. But I didn't do that. I just sat down and got writing, and I ended up writing about 2,200 words on the first day in 2 hours. And what I wrote was not the prologue because I'd already had that written, but I wrote the first two scenes of the first chapter. I know that those are going to be scenes that I come back to in revisions and really change as I kind of have a better idea of what will start the story out really well. It's something that I never quite figured out, what's the first moment that I want you to see. But anyway, I got it written and felt great about having it written in the first place. And then yesterday was August 2nd. I brainstormed for 5.5 hours and got a lot done by just kind of brute force. I took a break for dinner and got back to writing at 5 o'clock. And so from 5 to 7:30, I wrote. And so I spent 8 hours on my book yesterday. Yesterday, I wrote 2,600 words. And that puts me at 4,800 words. Only in chapter 1. That's a long chapter. It doesn't matter. I'll axe things later. But the stuff I wrote yesterday is really good. It's a scene that I've been really looking forward to. Technically, it's the meet cute. We don't have to talk about that though. But I had a great time writing it, and it was something I had planned for a while and was really looking forward to. So when I wrote it, it just flowed and it was perfect. Yeah. Today, I haven't written. I'm planning to. I'm going to be busy over the weekend, so I'm kind of nervous about Saturday and Sunday if I'm going to get anything written. I'm going to be really busy, away. So I'm trying to kind of build up my word count so that if I end up taking those 2 days off, I can. That is my update. The rest of the week should be interesting as I attempt to write this book and brainstorm it at the same time and keep up with everything else. Okay, that's all for me today. I'll update you some other time about how this week goes. Okay, update real quick because I have things to write. Yesterday, I did not want to write. I procrastinated until like 8:30, and then I wrote till 10:30. I was watching TikToks. I was like, you know, when you like self-sabotage and you're like, I want to do the thing that I want to do that will make me happy, but instead I'm gonna do something that's gonna make me feel like trash, and I'm gonna do that instead for a while. So that's what I did. And then I was like, maybe I'm just not gonna write at all. And wow, I really have had days like that before, and I was like, no, I'm not breaking my streak, I'm not doing this. So I just did it, and I really ended up loving the words that I wrote. And so yeah, I wrote 2,100-ish words. It was great. The morning did not turn out as expected. You know, life happens. I slept till 10. First time in 3 weeks that I've broken our early morning 5 a.m. wake up schedule. I'm kind of shocked at myself. I stayed up until 2, but I couldn't sleep, and hey, what the heck, you know? Sometimes stuff happens. I wrote 1,300 words, kind of propelled myself right into the spot where like I'm about to write a scene I'm super excited about. So I feel like that's a great setup for tonight. It is not even 8 o'clock yet, so I want to film this really quick and not think about this for the rest of the night, and then write to my little heart's content. And if I could hit like 3,000 words today in total, that would be freaking awesome, especially considering I blew my morning routine. I was at work, but it was just a really weird day with a really late start, and didn't turn out well in many other areas. But for some reason, writing just happened. You know, it's like really cool when you create a hobby or a habit that when you have a bad day, you don't just say, oh, I'm not going to do that today, I'm going to give myself a break and not do that, but you say, I'm going to give myself a break from everything else, and then I'm actually going to hide in my hobby as kind of a buffer from everything else. So that's what writing is for me today. Okay, anyway, I'll update tomorrow on how many words I wrote tonight. I'm dead tired. I cannot wait to go to sleep. Okay, I have a long work day tomorrow. Sometimes life just like smacks you in the face. It's okay though, my book's going great. Okay, that's all. Drafting update. It is August 8th. It is a Monday evening. I think I left you sometime on Thursday or Friday. So on Friday, I wrote 1,300 words, and I think I finished chapter 2. Over the weekend, I wrote absolutely nothing. Just nothing at all, which I expected, so I'm not disappointed. I'm just kind of like, well, all right, okay. It definitely was a little bit of a motivation hit, because when I'm not writing for that long, I just kind of forget what I was excited about. So that's why I have to write every day, is because I just am amnesiac. So yesterday, actually, I did a bunch of brainstorming. I wrote like 1,500 words of brainstorming, which was Sunday. So that is over the weekend, but like no actual drafting words, like no words that count toward like the actual word count goal. Today, I plan to have like a really good morning and start fresh, start well. And then I woke up at 7 and had to just go to work, so that didn't happen. But actually wrote like 2,700 words. My goal is to write another 500-ish words today and finish chapter 3. So I've written a whole chapter today, which would be really good because I only wrote 2 chapters last week. So now we've run into a problem, which I'm just discovering, but it's a problem I knew about myself, but it's really just manifesting right now in a very big way, which is that I am an enormous overwriter. It is like one of the biggest problems about me. The problem is it's just like the word count doesn't matter if I'm spending a ton of time on chapter 2. I need to be advancing through the story, not just writing super long scenes. I'm a little worried about like actually making content goals rather than word count goals. Word count, I know I'm going to be fine. And so I'm actually kind of transitioning my mindset to a little bit more of a content goal. So I think that's a place where I need to grow as a person. That's the current problem, but I also know that I'm like 3 chapters into a book, and there's a lot of time to kind of get better at that if I know that that's a problem from the get-go. There are some things about writing that I've forgotten that are kind of like a little bit headachy, like just the fact that I hate writing description. I know that's terrible. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love dialogue, which are the scenes that go on forever, are the dialogue scenes. And I'm like, no, the character is getting to know this person, and so I can just like justify to my brain why it's so long, but I can't be doing that. And then the description is literally so lacking because I am like, I know what it looks like in my head, so I'm just gonna move on. I just don't like it. I keep saying to myself that these are things that will be fixed in revisions, and so I keep like just leaving myself notes, and so that's how I'm getting through that. The last thing of note before I end this very long update is that as I'm drafting, I can feel my brainstorming mind that was like so open all the time to new ideas and like new pathways of thinking. I can feel it shutting, and that's not a good thing because I'm not done brainstorming. I'm happy with my process and like my progress so far. It's just that there's a lot more work to be done in the next 2 months while I'm drafting at the same time. So far, it's good. It's good. It's just a process, and every day you learn something new. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, that's everything. I'll catch you next time. Bye. Today is August 14th. It's a Sunday night. It is 9 p.m. and I thought I would do an update because I haven't in a while, and this is why. And I thought I would share. Let me take you through it real quick. So right here is the actual updates for word count. Today is Sunday, and somebody canceled on me, so I wrote 5,221 words just for 14 days. It's not even 15 days, so it's not even halfway through the month. This is the running total down here, so added up each day as I go. So the nano goal is 23,338. In order to write 50,000 words in a month, I'm following the NaNoWriMo word count, and so the goal would be by today to have written 23,000 words. Instead of that, I wrote this number, which is 31,142 words. I am over my NaNoWriMo word count goal by 7,804 words. Now, this might seem like a great thing because I'm writing a ton of words. Yay, I'm getting through the book faster. Yay, I'm hitting my word count goals. Okay, but there is an essential problem, and I think it's just me. It's just me. Let's move over to this column here. This column says chapters. I'm only at chapter 6, and it's been 14 days, which is not too bad if you're like writing at a regular pace, but I'm writing at a breakneck pace, and I'm only at chapter 6, which essentially means I'm wildly overwriting, like crazy overwriting numbers. And so I'm not hitting my my actual story progress goals. So over here, we have an ideal outline, kind of based on Save the Cat percentages, but just kind of also how I just feel that the story is going. And so Act 1 should be about a quarter of the story, right? And so say I'm shooting for 100,000 words, 50,000 words for 2 months, adds up to 100,000. So Act 1 should be 25% of the book, should be 25,000 words, okay? In Act 1, I'm supposed to have 7 chapters, which follow all the beats. It's really well set up. I'm super, super happy with the outline, and I love what I've written so far, which is almost all of Act 1. We are at 31,000 words, and I have 2 chapters left to write of Act 1. If 40,000 words is my 25%, the final word count is gonna be like 160,000, 170,000 maybe. And this is only the beginning of the book. This isn't even when we get into the juicy stuff, which I overwrite even more. And I was like, maybe this is my big challenge in life that I'll have to conquer in revisions. And so I have everything like really tightly like reverse outlined as I go, making sure that I write down every scene that I end up writing, any new information I pants in there. And so I'm creating a reverse outline as I go so that I can use that when I'm doing my revisions, which is going to be really helpful, especially if this like becomes gargantuan, which it looks like it might. I know that I'm creating, like in the past 14 days have created a giant pain in the butt for myself. I don't even know if content-wise I can finish this book in the amount of time that I've allotted, even though the word count is going to be no problem. Do you see what I'm saying? This is just ridiculous. Like, there's got to be an answer here for me. If anyone has the answer, let me know. Like, what is the answer? But I think there's a way to cut in exactly where you need the information and then cut out and not have any of the like meandering logistics. I think that's something that I need to just try as best I can to chop and to get better at. This is a problem, it's giving me anxiety, but at least I'm writing a lot and literally adore what I've written. And especially this last chapter, which is why I wrote 5,000 words today, it was so much fun. It was the catalyst, which is supposed to happen at 10% and save the cat. I was like, nah, 15%? Yeah, we're at 30%. That cannot be. It just means that the book's not gonna be 100,000 words, and there's no way to change that at this point. I've been doing a ton of outlining and brainstorming alongside of these numbers, so I have thousands of words of notes and outlining that I've done as well. I'm gonna retire my writing brain for today because it's just been an all-day thing. It's been so much fun, but I'm exhausted. Yeah, I'll hold you next time with another update, and we'll see where I go. We'll see what happens. It's the 15th. I have not really written a whole lot more, but this is halfway through the month, which I think means is a great time to end this vlog. And I will give you part 2 of the August drafting next time. Final word count is like 31,000 or something. It really hasn't changed since I gave my last update. I've been doing other things. But I am still way ahead of my NaNoWriMo word count goal, which is great. And content-wise, still behind, which is okay. But I've had so much fun, and I don't know, I just love drafting. It's my favorite stage of writing. But there's also such a long way to go. Oh my gosh, I have all of the fun and games and the midpoint and everything else. Like, it's a long road, but I have a lot of stamina, I think, because I've just been planning it for so long. Yeah, stick around for part 2 if you want to see how this month ends and how I get on with drafting the rest of it. We have a lot of writing left to do, but I'm so happy to finally be here. To finally be writing after just prepping for months and months. It just felt like forever. It felt like it would never get there, and then it did, and couldn't be happier. Okay, that's everything for today. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and stick around for more. Go watch my other videos about how I got here, my plotting method, all that good stuff. It's all on my channel. Happy writing and drafting and plotting and brainstorming and whatever else you're doing. I hope you are having a great time with your project. I hope you're in love with it. I wish you the best. Bye.